Hi, everyone. My name is Ambarish Mitra. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Blippa. Today, I'm going to talk about augmented reality. And though 10 years ago, when we were speaking about the subject, almost less than 1% people in the room even knew what the phrase meant. I still don't take that for granted. Can I have a quick show of hands? How many of you actually know, and don't feel shy if you don't know, but actually how many of you know what augmented reality means? Quick show of hands. I have an uphill task in my hands. So one of the goals today, I very rarely talk about my own company. I prefer to talk about the medium and what AR holds for us. So those of you who know what augmented reality means, you'll become PhDs of the subject in the next 20 minutes. And those of you who don't know what augmented reality means, you'll definitely be graduates. So that's my purpose today. But let me define AR for you. And often the word AR and VR are so interchangeably used, but they couldn't be more different from each other. Augmented reality means, as the phrase says, augmentation of reality. But the key word here is reality, not in a philosophical way, That's a very big question. But when you look at the world through the camera of a phone or any device, and the world comes to life, it's just looking at a wall and the wall comes to life with some content, that's augmented reality. So the reality is a very important keyword here. You have to look at something in the physical world. Virtual reality often is almost like escaping from reality. Your immediate real environment has got nothing to do with it. You could be in this room and taking a walk in Sahara or taking a walk on Venice Beach in LA, as you must have seen in some of the booths outside from National Geography doing the demonstration. So it's very important to understand the medium, but one of the amazing things about augmented reality, its scope is huge, it's vast, because the whole world forms under the reality paradigm. Everything you see with your eyes falls under AR. So we started Blippa like around 10 years ago. It was from one drunken evening in a pub in south of England, in Surrey, where me and my co-founder, we were drinking. Do not support drinking here, but we were drinking. And I made a quick joke about the Queen of England coming to life out of a 20-pound banknote while paying for a drink. It was a very strange imagination because the bartender wasn't giving me the change back, and I was getting restless. And my co-founder, whose background was in computer vision and artificial intelligence from Imperial College London, he prototyped the first version of Blippa, which was amazing and mind-blowing. But even at that point, this is 2010, I didn't know what AR meant, but I certainly believed that actually, if we look at this world, the world is not just finite number of screens. The world is everything, every flower, every car, every building. If every building could tell me a story back, the infinite potential of AR is amazing. But before we move into the depth of AR, it's very important to understand how the general interface of computing is changing and why this is going to be a massive paradigm shift. If you look at the computing interface trend from late 90s to 2019, there is an interesting correlation. Initially, computers were designed and humans were trained to serve the computer. And of course, then general product design and intelligence enhanced, and people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates completely changed the paradigm of personal computing. And then we realized it's just not a tool. It's going to stick around with us for a very long time, and it needs to become more and more like us. That's why one of the fundamental changes that happened, that we moved from just touch keyboard-based computing to swipe and touch-based interfaces in the middle of 2000. And then we moved to more like sound with Google Assistant and Alexa in your room. And now, very recently, with augmented reality, where the cameras are beginning to play a role. Imagine to listen, to talk, language is a human function. To see is a human function. To touch is a human function. Increasingly, computing interfaces are becoming as frictionless as possible, and there's a possibility that in the next 10 years, more than 50% of information access on the planet is going to happen without actually any kind of a typing interface. And this is going to completely democratize how we get information. Anybody, irrespective of their literacy background or socioeconomic background, you could talk to a smart device, you could see through a smart device. The seeing part is very, very important for general AR, and that's one of the reasons the biggest companies in the world are betting on it. So the seeing part generally is called cognitive computing. So this is a whole new branch. It's a branch of artificial intelligence. And those of you in the room are divulging in artificial intelligence, you would know there are three biggest areas of research. One is the reasoning, where companies like DeepMind are involved. Next is natural language processing, a huge amount of work being done by Microsoft, Google, and several other companies. And the last frontier is the eyes. But the eyes is extremely complex. You know, we take all, I mean, one of the things working in artificial intelligence myself, my respect for being a human being has gone so many folds. We take all our functions so much for granted. Just humans, we process like 19 million images a second. It's so difficult for computers to do that. But computers are beginning to get there. So there are three fundamental areas of computer vision which is laying the foundation for augmented reality. The first one is semantic, which is the what. You know, what is that? A dog, a carpet, a camera, a guy wearing a check shirt, a white chair over there? That's very important, not just a perspective of advertising, but generally, because visual gives us a really rich context. So if you really know that that surface is not just a dining table, it's made of mahogany wood, your content should cater to that. So today, a lot of targeting and smart stuff happens through some clusters of smart keywords and grouping, but visual level targeting is going to completely change how people are served content moving forward. The next branch of computer vision is called geometric, which a lot of you who are technical would know. It's called SLAM, which is simultaneous localization and mapping, which is understanding the geometry. That's a flat wall, you know, that's a perpendicular corner. That's surface detection. So that you can put any piece of content arbitrarily in any given location. And no one's actually tried and blended the both. So ultimately, for AR to fully take off, and those of you following the Apple AR kit and the Google AR core story, even they haven't conquered this territory. But for AR to fully take off and become a whole new medium, as big as the internet, if not bigger, SLAM and semantic need to come together, but we're not there yet. This is the Gartner hype curve of augmented reality, where you see the red bubble is what we are, where we are today. When I started Blipper, we were literally 10 years ago as an innovation trigger, where it was all at the start of the beginning. But we're predicting it's another 5 years away from becoming an absolute mainstream medium, and 10 years away to become as ubiquitous as the internet is today. And a very big role that is going to escalate that is this behavior of photography, right? Today, the phone is neither here, it's here all the time. And cameras are becoming the new interfaces for majority of phone design. People buy different phones based on quality of the camera. Is whether your Google search works or not is hardly a criteria for you. So cameras and self-love is driving a lot of AR forward, as you can see through a lot of the Snapchat filters. Big players have already invested a lot in the AR ecosystem. We are already seeing Google, Apple, Facebook, Snapchat, Adobe several players coming into the medium. And what it's trying to say that you have to start taking the medium very seriously. One of the most beautiful thing about all these guys coming in that there is a lack of standardization of format, as you can say, that all these companies want to promote their own format, but that's what makes companies like ourselves a little more interesting because we are playing the role of democracy where we're trying to standardize and we've taken the role of becoming the WordPress of AR. Because for us, making this accessible is very, very critical. So I'll give you some interesting case studies taking place. And at the end of it, I'd like to give you guys a live demo, which I'm slightly nervous about, but we'll do our best. So AR is already having a positive impact. Retailers are already using it. That's an example of a Uniqlo smart jacket through a magic mirror where you're able to augment yourself and immediately try on incredible jacket collection, which reduces queue time in retail environments. Ray-Ban is doing that with glasses. Lego is doing that with toys. And these are some examples and I'm aware of few companies in India trying to do it as well. But it's literally at the beginning. Some of it is gimmicky, but very soon it's becoming more utilitarian. Moving ahead, the next example you'll see. This is the one where one of the biggest areas of impact is happening in AR. Many of us think that television is media, internet is media, newspapers are media, print, door drops are media, which is not wrong. They all form a very large part of the media pie. But you may not realize that products, in a way, are one of the biggest pieces of media in the world. There are more Coca-Cola or Pepsi cans in circulation in any given country than actually newspapers. You know, there are more cars like Toyotas or Mercedes going around the streets of a city than lying in their showroom. In the AR world, when your product could directly talk to the consumer and whatever story you're trying to promote, right? Your story could be directly related to buying something or some kind of a pre-purchase persuasion or post-purchase satisfaction. You could make the media talk. And this was an example we did in India with the Boost brand, where you could learn cricketing skills directly from two of biggest cricket stars. This is another example with the Burberry brand, where literally the only thing real in this field of view is the mannequin. Like that mannequin wearing the jacket, that's the only physical good. Everything around it is digital. So you could walk around a store and get to see reviews, get to see accessories that will go with the jacket, and whatever is in stock. But the goods you are seeing in your field of view through your phone, that is all virtual. None of the stuff around the jacket is real, which really helps with showrooming of real estate. So this is another trend we are being futurist. We are predicting that there'll be digital bidding on physical objects as well. With advent of Google Lens beginning to hit more mainstream, we will recognize a lot more everyday objects around us. And we will notice that people will go around and engage with content like flowers or public figures or buildings or bridges and cars. And we will see a lot more content pop up through augmentation and understanding of the physical world. This is an example in US where one of the leading insurance companies is using augmented reality and computer vision, where you could walk around through your phone, and normally when you buy a second-hand car, you have to fill in like 8 to 10 different forms with your requirements. This is almost reverse search, where you could walk around the road, look at any car through your camera of your phone, and immediately it gives you really incredible insight about the insurance premium, what's the second-hand price, etc. So this, we're seeing also interesting use cases in the enterprise space where the applications are massive and huge cost saving. People are indulging huge amount of R&D and training where an air hostess or air host can self-train how to work on an interface of what the interiors of a plane look like, or people who have Coke vending machines in their shops, apparently the numbers in millions in India, can self-help and fix a Coke vending machine literally by using the phone's camera, and it tells you how to fix it. So this is a real case study with Cisco, where installation efficiency of circuit boards and routers increased by 30%, and the first-time accuracy improved by 90% because you could overlay the correct information. And it's really useful in mundane jobs where people are repetitively doing the same thing, but you lose focus. So this is a very small interface to show that everything we showed, or I'm about to give you a demo of, one of the goals of our business is to make it very easy. We feel that if you're digital literate, anyone who knows how to use a computer or knows how to use PowerPoint should be able to create AR. Think about it, today's internet wouldn't exist if everybody needed knowledge of HTML or JavaScript. So today's internet exists because things like WordPress and all existed, and then that's one of our personal goals that drive us to make it extremely easy for everybody to dive into augmented reality. But what we certainly don't want is our world to look like this. This was someone else's vision video, which became really viral a few years ago. My personal opinion, I would be very disappointed if AR made the whole world look like that. But some people think this is incredible future. On that note, let me give you guys, this is done enough of the talk, let's walk the talk, give you guys a demo of what am I talking about. So Sandeep is here to help me. So there is, this entire demonstration is live, so fingers crossed. Could the screen be changed to my phone, please? Thank you. So the first demo is where we're going to take this stage over into a sort of a fitness, a Nike-style retail environment. And I needed Sandeep here holding this image because otherwise I wouldn't know where to go. So if you see, there's this holographic environment it created in the middle of the stage, as you see on the screen. And I'm going to literally walk into it. It's doing a body scan of me. And it says it's connected to my watch, and now it's doing a bit of a health analysis of my body. It says the state of my heart right now. It also says how much do I run. It's upselling goods to me, where I could go check out the insoles and everything in detail. And imagine this could be anywhere. It doesn't need to be in any particular physical location. It could be outside in the park. It could be, it can trigger from any arbitrary location. Or also, it gives me assessing past medical records. Of course, this is for demo purposes, and it's this information is gimmick, but it gives you an idea that how literally a stage like this could be made into a virtual health assessment environment. So the next one is going to be about a retail, how we can convert this stage into a retail environment. So you notice, literally, again, we've put in a showroom on the middle of this stage where you could walk around, go near it, and I don't know how much you could see on the screen, but on my phone, I can even check out the texture of the clothing. It's also got proximity sensors that if I go near a piece of clothing, it will start giving me details about how the brand was created, videos, you could engage with it. So you get an idea that how a very beautifully rendered, photorealistic clothing store, and I can walk around it, I can look over it, as if it physically really exists here. Then, the last piece of demo, just bear with me. It's another demonstration of the technology where you have to use your imagination slightly. So imagine you are, I am right now in outer space, like man has landed in Mars or somewhere else, and you guys are in planet Earth. And we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So bear with me to follow the story. So here, immediately through my watch, I have a bit of a health assessment, and it says that I have a flu. And a drone flies in and drops a piece of vaccination for me. And then we're also seeing these two smart people thinking of this idea called bike, which already exists on planet Earth. Instead of rebuilding it, they're just using a robot to recreate that. The core purpose of this demonstration is to show you that how creative you can become when you're doing augmented reality demonstrations. Because so much of our digital industry today is two-dimensional in rectangular screens, but creativity could be dimensionless. You know, our whole world we see with our eyes is beautiful and it's 3D, and content moving forward is going to be very, very rich, and consumers are going to consume it in completely arbitrary places. So we also see, like there's a little city there. We also see like the planet Earth revolving over there. So just to give you an idea that you could create such beautiful environments. Let me show you some more commercial demos here. So when I switch on the Blipper app, this is for a Formula One team. And if I press the scan button, you will notice the screens come to life. Just give me 1 second, having some teething issues. I'll scan it again. So you'll notice immediately a Formula One car starts riding the screen. Interesting thing to note here that, of course, it's a beautiful car and it's being rendered on this piece of paper, but the laws of physics are still working. So if I push this piece of paper back, the car moves back. If I push the piece of paper left, the car moves left. If I push the piece of paper right. Though there is a total disconnection between the paper and the phone. So in the new realm of creativity, again, you could create unbelievable stories where if you are, the way you make your films and other graphics, you can make absolutely amazing rich media moving forward using augmented reality tool. So that's all from me. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me here.